iTreadmill is a new app that works on the iPhone and iPod Touch. It's meant to be a treadmill replacement. Now, whether you own a treadmill or run on a treadmill at the gym, iTreadmill still comes in handy because there are those days where you can't get to your treadmill or it's just too inconvenient. iTreadmill is always with you and allows you to run whenever you want. Let's start it up and see. This is the loading screen, and we jump immediately to the treadmill screen. Now, what a real treadmill does is two main things. First, it measures your data as you run and displays it to you so that you can monitor your workout. The second thing it does is allows you to set your speed or your pace so that you know how fast that you're running. Now, iTreadmill can accomplish both things. Now, first of all, let's look at measuring data. As you see here, iTreadmill has 5 windows that displays data. In this case, we have distance, pace, speed, calories burned, and the time. But these can all be changed as well. There are many things that iTreadmill can display simply by tapping on each window. They're actually like buttons that display whatever data you want. So strike rate, time, average pace, calories burned, distance, current pace, which is the pace over your last 30 seconds or so, speed, step count, and again strike rate. So let's set this one up for distance, and maybe we would like to see speed here, maybe time here. Let's look at step count here, and how about calories on this one? There we go. And so we can set it up however you want to see it. Now, iTreadmill works with very simple VCR-like controls. So when you want to run, you simply press the play button, and you can see there's a running buddy over there, and that means you should be running with him. Now, iTreadmill, as you run, will detect your movement. And since I'm just holding this in front of the screen, I'm going to pretend that we're running by shaking this. And you'll see the step count each time that I shake this. 5, 6, 7, you see that? And as it does that, iTreadmill calculates your distance, your speed, your time, and all of the other parameters that you might want to see. And when you run, sometimes you want to pause, and there's a pause button that allows you to pause. It saves all of the data there so that you can go and do whatever you need to do, and then when you come back, you press play again, and it will continue your run from there. Now, when you're done with your run, you simply press the stop button, and you see it says saving run, because it not only resets the screen, but it saves your data into a history file that you can display. And here's the history file. Let's take a close-up view of the history table so you can see it a little better. You'll see that there's distance, time, pace, and calories, and each run is listed in a tabular format, which makes it very easy to compare your distance over all of your runs, and your time, your pace, your calories. And if you press calories, you can also see strike rate. Actually, in version 1.1, iTreadmill also adds speed. If you press pace, you will see the speed, and for distance, you will see the step count. And you can see and scroll through all of your runs. In this case, I have about 24 runs, but iTreadmill can hold many, many runs. And on the bottom, you'll see a summary bar, which summarizes each column. So, for instance, it will show the total distance of all of your runs, the total time of all of your runs, and for pace and strike rate, you don't really want to see the total pace, you want to see the average pace over all of your runs, and so that's what it shows here, your average pace, your average strike rate. And for calories, of course, it will show your total calories of all of your runs. So that's the history table. It makes it nice to be able to monitor your improvement as you run each day. Okay? And now that we know that iTreadmill can measure your data, the second thing the treadmill does is it allows you to set a speed or a pace, and it guarantees that you run at that speed. Now, the way iTreadmill accomplishes that is with a dial pacer. This strip right here in the top right is a dial that you can spin up or down simply by swiping it with your fingers. So let's do that. You'll notice as soon as I touch it, it opens a target pace window. So the target pace that you want to run, and let's say you want to run an 8-minute mile. Okay, so you can do that with the target pace dialer, and you'll notice that this lit up, which means the pacer is now enabled. So now when you press play and start running, iTreadmill puts out a tick sound like a metronome. And if you run to that beat, you'll be running your 8-minute mile. And for instance, you can change that on the fly. So let's say you decide I want to do a 7-minute mile instead. You can do that, and you just have to run a little faster. And you'll see that the animated runner runs to the beat of the pacer. So you can hear the sound, you can see the runner, and you can also see the light flashing. There's 3 different ways of seeing what the beat should be as you run. And if you time your feet to that beat, then you will be running the pace. And that's how iTreadmill keeps you on pace and also shows the data that you want to see. To get rid of that target pace window, you simply tap it and you're back to your distance. Now to disable the pacer, you simply tap on that pacer button. To turn it back on, you just tap on it again. So iTreadmill makes it very easy for you to stay on pace and to measure and view your data and look at your history of runs so that you can see your improvement. And that's the basics of iTreadmill. This is the pacer test, and I'm going to set the pace here for about a 7:30. Let's try 7:25, and I'll run to the beat and see how it goes. There you can see after about a minute of running or so, the real pace is at 7:28. The target pace was 7:25, and so running to the beat will bring it very close to the target pace. Now, auto pause and resume is an advanced feature that iTreadmill has. That if you turn it on, it allows you to automatically pause and resume. So let's say you're running with iTreadmill outside. Let me show you that real quick. Let's go back here. And let's say you're running with iTreadmill outside, and you happen to be running, and all of a sudden you come to a traffic light. And so you stop. iTreadmill takes a couple seconds to realize that you've stopped, and then it pauses all by itself. And that way you don't have to take out iTreadmill and press pause every time that you come to a traffic light. And also, now when the traffic light turns green, you want to run again. And iTreadmill will detect your steps, and after a few steps it will automatically start up again. So that's the automatic pause and automatic resume feature. So look for part 2 of this video, which will have the conclusion for this basic operations, and will include how to set your weight and your stride in the settings. So be looking for part 2, and we'll see you then. Bye.